Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gumansing. In our top story, many are calling it a Christmas miracle just in time for the holidays. Commissioner of the Department of Finance, Valdemar Collins, in cooperation with the Director of the Bureau of Internal Revenue, Marvin Pickering, have confirmed that $10 million worth of income tax refunds have begun being paid to the taxpayers in time for the holidays. 3,800 checks began being mailed last week to taxpayers in the territory as the government makes every effort to expeditiously fulfill its fiduciary obligations timely. They say both agency heads commended their employees for their dedicated hard work and commitment to continuously process and make payments of income tax refunds. Director Marvin Pickering encourages taxpayers with questions about their refunds to contact the Bureau at 340-715-1040. In other news today, the 31st Legislature of the Virgin Islands held a special session to deal with bills such as the governor's proposed sin tax on goods such as alcohol, tobacco, and certain sugar-related beverages. Governor Mapp hopes that these initiatives can assist the economy to move forward. Richard Dorsey files this report.
The sin tax, as discussed by the governor during his press conference on St. Thomas, shed light on what the governor feels are initiatives to address our economic issue.
So we are proposing an appropriate excise tax consistent with the national, with many of our states and other territories to implement a significant increase on the excise tax on beer, on distilled alcohol, and on wines. In addition, we are seeking at least $12 per carton tax on cigarettes and tobacco products in the territory, a sugar tax on carbonated sweet beverages as well.
The 31st Legislature and the Special Senate was able to address the details of the initiative.
Can't continue to just sit and in a couple minutes or in a couple hours decide that we're going to turn the place upside down. Senator Viale and I and the President was just on a conference call trying to deal with another urgent matter. And what we're finding across this government is that we don't do a good job in collections. And that's why sometimes we find ourselves in a financial predicament that we're in. If we do a better job of our collections as a government, and we stop the casual and lavish spending in this community, we'll be in a much better financial place.
Richard Dorsey, News 2.
Ultimately, lawmakers rose out of committee of the whole and back into special session in which they voted to hold Bill number 31-0497 in committee for further consideration. Meanwhile, the board of St. Thomas St. John Chamber of Commerce, they protested and asked the members of the legislature to remove the sin tax provisions of the act. President Sebastiano Paiwanski Casanelli stated the territory is already losing gross receipts taxes because tourists find cheaper prices in cruise ship stores or on St. Martin and other Caribbean destinations. If the VI government, he says, increases duties, wholesalers will raise the prices charged to retailers, who will in turn increase their prices to local consumers and tourists, which will result in fewer purchases. Concerns also include no cost-benefit impact analysis, and that tax increases are being proposed right after it was announced the gross domestic product of the VI increased. The board also has publicly criticized the VI Department of Labor for targeting employers as the solution to the unemployment insurance fund deficit. The unemployment insurance tax is administered by the VI Employment Security Agency under the Department of Labor. The board states in May 2016, generic dunning letters were sent to many local businesses demanding unspecified payments that were overdue. Many of the letters were wrong because the businesses had either closed or payments had been made but not properly calculated or credited at that time. The St. Thomas St. John Chamber of Commerce issued a media release, they say, condemning the deplorable government record keeping that must be corrected. Now they say 6 months later, businesses are once again facing increased tax rates for unemployment insurance. Virgin Islands will step up its recycling in foreseeable future if two measures sent by Governor Mapp to the 31st legislature that intends to address trash and environmental hazards in the territory. The Virgin Islands Source Separation Act is intended to manage the solid waste stream of the territory while reducing the need to dispose of solid waste generated in the VI through incineration or landfilling by maximization of recycling. The proposed legislation will give the Virgin Islands Waste Management Authority, if approved, the ability to enforce how waste is collected and separated prior to going to the landfill. Other items in the recycling legislation includes individuals that generate trash must ensure that items are separated from other trash. Residents must provide for the removal of separated recyclables, either by contracting with a hauler or by directly taking items to a processing station. Landlords must provide a mechanism for disposal of source-separated recyclables unless the territory provides for such collection. The bill would require most retailers to accept bottles and containers back for return on deposit. Now, that was discussed at the Senate, and the Committee on Rules and Judiciary, chaired by Senator Kenneth Gittens, convened at the Earl B. Otley Legislative Hall, where they approved Justices Maria Swan, Ives Swan, and Reese Hodge to serve at the Supreme Court of the VI. The committee chair explained that the process of vetting was necessary to ensure that nominees are qualified and suitable to serve the people of the VI in a fair and respectable manner. Legislators spoke highly of Justice Maria Cabret, whose nomination to serve an additional 10-year term on the bench of the Supreme Court of the VI was approved. On December 19th, District Court Judge Curtis Gomez sentenced 3 defendants for a money laundering conspiracy that operated from Los Angeles, California to St. Thomas. Demencia Dore, 31 of St. Thomas, Kishma Weeks, 27 of St. Croix, Tamisha McBean, 32 of St. Thomas. All 3 defendants were also ordered to forfeit to the United States $351,000, which represents the proceeds from the sale of the marijuana. According to the plea agreements, between July 2012 and December 2013, Dorr, Weeks, and McBean were members of a drug trafficking organization that shipped barrels of containing at least 700 kilograms, but less than 1,000 kilograms of marijuana concealed in chow mein cans from Los Angeles to St. Thomas. Well, yesterday, a semi-truck carrying a load of steel plowed through a crowded Christmas market in Berlin, killing at least 12 people. And today, authorities say the perpetrator may still be on the run. Here's more.
German Chancellor Angela Merkel added to a growing memorial for victims of a deadly truck attack on a West Berlin Christmas market. The market is closed, but the case is still wide open.
Do not know if there was one perpetrator or several perpetrators. Do not know if there was support given to perpetrator.
German authorities did arrest a suspect after the attack, an asylum seeker who arrived from Pakistan a year ago.
I know that it would be especially hard to bear for us if it was to be confirmed that a person who committed this act was someone who sought protection and asylum in Germany.
But the suspect denied any involvement, and without witnesses, police set him free.
We're kind of back to square one, it seems like, with this investigation.
Police say a Polish man was the rightful driver of the truck, but was not in control at the time. The truck's owner says earlier in the day, something seemed amiss.
His last contact was at 1500 CET when his wife called him. However, she couldn't talk because she was at work. She said she would call at 1600 CET, but she was unable to contact him.
Police found him dead in the cab with gunshot wounds, but have not found a gun, raising the possibility that the suspect is armed and still out there. In a statement, ISIS says they inspired the attacker, calling him a soldier of the Islamic State. As authorities search for answers, so too do ordinary Berliners, many returning to the market to hold a vigil and hold hands for those they lost. In Washington, I'm Scott McLean.
Keeping our eye on the economy, hundreds of people working for General Motors will have to start the new year looking for a new job. The automaker says it will be laying off nearly 1,300 workers at an assembly plant in Detroit beginning in March. General Motors also says it will idle production at 5 other factories next month, mostly to reduce inventories of sedans, which are no longer popular among U.S. consumers. Here's a look at the stock market watch at the New York Stock Exchange. Everything up, the Dow 91, NASDAQ 26, S&P 500 up at 8. Coming up on News 2, we have much more straight ahead. 'Tis the season. And then for those who are eagerly awaiting the list of winners for the Lighted Boat Parade, we have the winners for the Miracle on Main Street. That and much, much more coming up next. Welcome back. Well, 'tis the season. For those who are eagerly waiting for the list of winners for the Lighted Boat Parade, held on Friday in conjunction with the Miracle on Main Street on St. Thomas, here they are. First place went to Pancho Man, Captain Mark Knopf. Second place, Friendship, went to Captain Jimmy Jones. Third place, Absolute, went to Captain Larry Benjamin, St. Thomas Sail and Power Squadron. Fourth place went to Santa's Delight by Captain Alex Randall. There were many other participants. Congrats to all for a beautiful display of lights. Ivana Udorican High School Music Department, they hosted an encore of its holiday concert at the Ken Cafe for seniors. Many expected to hear everything, and it was all delivered. Favorite classics as well as local favorites. The students sharpened their skills all year long and tuned up those instruments for that very special occasion. And let's take a listen.
When we do any concert, we usually do it to show parents the progress of their children during the school year. However, today, we're not proving anything, really. We're just giving back. We're saying thank you to the seniors for all their years and hoping, that we're bringing them into the Christmas season. We probably will try and get them up to dance in a little while, one of the groups, the Ken Styles, so that they'll get even though they're hearing the classical portion of it, we'll do the local side as well, and hopefully that'll bring them into the season.
Great music there supporting the young ones. USVI Ambassadors, the show that airs right here on TV2, has won big again. Television producer and director Natafa Romain, his JNR Media Solutions, they took home Telly's People Choice Award Silver for USVI Ambassadors. We caught up with Natafa. Here's more.
Be nominated, you have to kind of put your work forth through the nominating committee, and there's certain criteria that they would look for, from the editing to, the production value and things of that nature. It's amazing to kind of see the show kind of blossoming at this point, and the amount of people that we're discovering on this journey to, instill more pride into the VI, you know what I mean? Because we have a lot of cool and great people around the world who are doing big things. I mean, coming up in the next season, which begins here on TV2 in the spring, we have, famous director out in Hollywood, you know what I mean, who's done work for a lot of different people. Louis Perez, that's his name. We went on tour with Rock City when they were on tour with Maroon 5. And we were able to catch up with those guys while they were there. There's a lot of great, really good people that not only take pride in what they're doing, but also take pride in representing the territory. This has been pretty much my baby, you know what I mean? Thanks to the Department of Tourism, who's actually the primary sponsor of the show. Without them, I wouldn't be able to do it, because obviously there's a lot of travel that's involved in it.
Congrats to you, Natafa, and be sure to tune in to News 2. We will have details on the upcoming season of USVI Ambassadors. Now, hopping back over to the Big Island on St. Croix in Frederickstead at My Brother's Table today, students from the AZ Academy, they shared holiday wishes with joy and meals for those less fortunate during the holiday season. The students helped to serve the patrons of My Brother's Table and caroled Christmas songs to those that were around enjoying the meal. Here's more.
I'm a teacher at AZ Academy. We're in Christiansted, small private school, and we brought our high school group out today. I was looking for community service opportunities for the students. We're so grateful for our island community, and we wanted to give back just a little bit. And I called Ms. Rose at my brother's table. She said we could come, and so we are here serving a little bit of food, singing some songs, as you can hear, and hoping that the kids learn about more ways they can give back to the community and be good citizens in this amazing little island that we live on.
Good job there by all the students. Now, high school and middle school students on St. Croix, they gathered at the St. Croix Career and Technical Education Center, CTEC, on Thursday for a day of learning and career exploration at the 19th Annual Career Fair and Open House themed Career and Technical Education, Moving St. Croix Forward. In a joint effort with CTEC's new academies and established programs, representatives from community businesses, government agencies, educational institutions, and military organizations, they held exhibits throughout the school's campus. A luncheon was held during the day to honor retirees of CTEC. Antilles School alumni will face off against the current generation of sailors in the inaugural Commodore's Challenge Regatta on December 24th. Mark that on the calendar. Participating graduates who represent several college All-Americans and 2 Olympians will include William Bailey, Nikki Barnes, Ian Barrows, Thomas Barrows, Addison Caproni, Tyler Rice, Alec Taylor, Cy Thompson, and Thomas Walden. Morning races will start at 10 a.m. featuring a fleet racing, followed by a team race format after lunch. Sailors will race in 2-man 420s. Be sure to stick around. Your News 2 AccuWeather forecast comes your way next.
Hopefully you've enjoyed your Tuesday. I know it's been pretty breezy out there on the water. It's been pretty choppy. And here's why. We have high pressure just to our north. So you can see this bubble where not too much activity is happening. You get those winds out of the east and it really starts enhancing those trade winds. And this is what we get. Hit or miss showers, nothing you can really pinpoint exactly when it's going to happen. And unfortunately, this is a setup we're going to be under for the next couple of days. So we're going to keep the shower chances in the forecast at least until we head into the weekend. So overnight tonight, a shower or 2. Temperature is not all that bad. We'll be in the 70s. Your forecast for your Wednesday, St. John, 84 degrees. Periods of sun and clouds, but you'll notice, yeah, some showers possible in St. Thomas, 84 degrees. Temperature-wise, it's not bad, but again, these showers, very hard to pinpoint when exactly they're going to happen with those trade winds. St. Croix tomorrow, 84, partly sunny skies. Hopefully you are able to enjoy your day. Now the marine forecast for the Atlantic, not too bad here. The waves are between 2 to 4 feet, and the wind is out of the south at 4 to 8 knots. Meantime, in the Caribbean, we do have a small craft advisory. The waves, again, very choppy out there, so make sure you are using caution if you happen to go out on the water. The waves are between 6 to 10 feet, and the wind is out of the east at 15 to 20 knots. Here's a look at the extended forecast. I mentioned we are going to remain a bit unsettled. We will have lots of sunshine around the next couple of days, but we will just have those scattered showers periodically throughout the day where it's nice and sunny, and then the showers move through and the sun is back out. So here's a look at things for Thursday. A shower or 2, 84 degrees. You'll notice temperatures staying very typical for this time of the year, so we're not seeing them drop off too much. We will see more moisture, though, steadier rain as we get into Thursday and Friday, so more in the way of showers and also some showers and temperatures in the 80s as we get into the weekend. Back to you, Sandy.
Thanks for that. Let's take a look at a News 2 weather picture there by Zion Delaware of Ricardo Richards Elementary School. And looks like Zion has some fishing plans. Some showers here and there expected, but mostly sunny on land, but on the sea, just a little choppy like she just reported. So, you know, keep that in mind. Send us your News 2 weather picture to the address on the screen. Be sure to tune in to see it right here on News 2. We'd like to thank you for joining us for all the latest. I'm Sandra Guman Singh. We'll leave you with music from the Ivana Eudora Ken High School. Have a wonderful evening.